Hello, everybody. So this is a special training that I'm doing that you can listen to any time of the year, at any time you've got a goal, whether it be financial, a weight goal, your love life, your personal life, whatever you've got going on in your life. And it's basically how to get unstuck, how to shift from not getting the results and thinking small or lowering your goal to playing full out. So what happens? What creates that shift? What takes us from I'm going to do this, I'm excited, let's just pick a Mary Kay goal since we're Mary Kay consultants. What takes us from that I'm unstoppable, I can do anything kind of mindset to the maybe I can't do this, maybe I should lower the goal, maybe your goal was 2,000 for the month and now it's 1,000 or 500, and what creates that? Well, couple of things. I'm going to give you some one-liners I definitely want you to write down. Inactivity breeds fear. So what that means is, let's just take a skincare class as an example. If you haven't held a skincare class since, let's say, before Christmas, let's say the last one you did was Thanksgiving with your relatives, and now you go to book one with a neighbor, you're like, wait a minute, I don't even know like where my kid is. I don't know what to do. And so anytime we have inactivity, it breeds fear. So I want you to write down the next quote, which you can tattoo on your forehead if you'd like, because I did. I made a sign for my desk that says, imperfect action is better than perfect procrastination. Now, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands of who considers themselves a perfectionist, because we all have a little bit of perfectionism in us at some point, right? So what happens is if we wait to do it perfectly, we will never leave the dock. If we want to make sure that we are certified in sailing and boating, and we've mapped out the weather for the next 7 days, and we know everything about a boat and everything about the water, whatever. If we don't literally leave the dock, we're never going to learn. Same thing with riding a bike. You start off with training wheels, okay? Once the training wheels and you've mastered that, then you take the training wheels off and someone holds onto the back, and then pretty soon you're riding a bike. But what if you didn't have the training wheels and you just had to literally start? You'd probably fall a lot and maybe say, I don't want to learn how to ride a bike. So this business is just like that, or whatever it is, whatever the reason is you're listening to this. So how do you get unstuck? So again, imperfect action is better than perfect procrastination. So I'm talking with a consultant today. She said, before I moved, I felt pretty confident in holding skincare classes, but I've moved to a new state. I don't know anybody. I have no customers here. I have no friends here. They moved due to her husband's transfer. She says, I don't know anybody here, and I feel like I've lost my confidence. Now, this is a true scenario. So I said to her, what do you feel you've lost? And she said, I just don't think I know what to say. I said, are you partially a perfectionist? She laughed and she said, of course I am. And I already knew the answer to that. And then she said to me, I just feel like, I said, well, what would you need to do to build that confidence, even if it's a little bit of confidence? And she said, I think I just need to hold a party. I said, okay, great. How many parties do you think you would need to hold to get that confidence back, to at least feel like, I got this? Even if you don't do it, gang, we're not doing heart transplants or something. I mean, we're not even dyeing somebody's hair that's semi-permanent. This is like, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. If things don't go well, you just say, I don't know what's in this product, or that's a great question, I'll ask the medical staff. Don't feel like you have to know it all right? So what this consultant said to me, she said, I feel like if I did 2 parties, I'd have my mojo back. Like, I feel like I would be pretty confident. I said, okay. And would those 2 parties be in person or virtual, or one of each? And she goes, well, actually, probably one of each. She goes, I really think I build my confidence and I do better in person, but I do know that virtual is the wave of the future. And I said, okay. I said, so when would you like to do these? Could you do one this weekend? And she said, actually, you know what? I've met a few neighbors and I just joined this, I don't know if it was a book club or some women's group or something in her town, because again, she moved to a different state from California to a different state and doesn't really know anyone. So that was her mission. She started calling a couple of these people, and 2 or 3 of them said, oh yes, I'd love to come over on Friday night. She says, I'm doing a get to know your neighbors thing, and I'd love for you to come, and I'm going to do some pampering, and it's going to be really fun. And they're like, I'd love to come and get pampered on a Friday night. They don't even know really what they're saying yes to, but I could hear the passion in her voice. I could tell that once these women were around her kitchen table, it doesn't matter whether she does it perfectly or not. They're there to be with her. They want to have the experience. Women love to congregate together. And I find there's a huge influx of this. People are now not wanting to do book clubs and all this virtually and bunko groups. They want to do everything in person because they miss that interaction. So can you imagine going from, I haven't held a skincare class in 5 months, I moved, blah, 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 and now all of a sudden I've got 2 parties booked in the next couple of days. Her inactivity, do you see that, has created fear. So what is she going to do? She's going to turn that around now and have the activity help her get rid of fear. Make sense? All right. So let's talk about a few other things. I'm gonna have to put my glasses on to read all of my notes. But anyway, so we're gonna kind of look at May and June, which is happen to be when I'm recording this, as kind of one big month. May and June is a momentum month. It's where we kind of look at it as, what's the word that I kept writing down today? Oh my goodness. There was a certain word that I kept hearing over and over and over again. Maybe it was momentum. Anyway, they were talking all about, this is kind of the final stretch, the end zone, that kind of thing. I want you guys to know between now and the end of June, and of course, for the rest of the rest of the calendar year, anything is possible. Literally anything is possible. You will see people at seminar coming into Mary Kay for a very short period of time and breaking records because they don't know any different. They don't know what they don't know, right? They just, you know, ignorance is bliss, so they say. I remember when we had our studio, often we would have a brand new unit member stand up there and she's queen of sales. And everybody be looking and she'd be going, oh my God, I had an $800 party. I don't even know what I'm doing. And she goes, I just read the flip chart. And everybody else is sitting there going, wow, she doesn't even know what she's doing. She had an $800 party because she read the flip chart. You know what, you guys? It's called sell the sizzle. She's confident. She's having fun. People buy into that. If you're new, people are so they are so forgiving when they say, oh, I know you're new, don't worry about it. It's no big deal if you don't know the ingredients. And then you say, but I'll get back to you because that's a great question. I want to learn. I want to learn what micellar water does, or I want to learn about that repair lifting serum, what it does. So if you don't know, don't make up the answer. But the other thing I want you guys to think about is expect miracles. So you might find this kind of crazy, but their visualization, please write this down. Visualization is key. What you feed your brain is important. Now, there's a thing that Tony Robbins goes over in the order of importance, and some of you have heard this from me before. Number 3 in importance is a strategy and action, which might surprise you because you're like, strategy and action, I need that. That means getting into action. We can make all the goal posters we want. We can set all these brilliant ideas, but if we don't get into activity, then what good is the goal poster? It's literally like making a goal poster for your diet and then literally never going to the gym. Well, goal poster is great. You can cut out all the pictures of all the perfect bodies you want or what you want your body to look like. But if you don't go to the gym, nothing's going to happen. Or you don't change your diet. You know what I'm saying? All of those things are a factor. Visualization is key. Absolutely key. So with visualization, you have to, don't let the scoreboard or where you are today trump your efforts or impact your vision or your determination or your passion. That comes from inside. So with Tony Robbins thing, your action plan, your strategy and getting in action is number 3. Number 2 is the story you're telling yourself. This is hard. I don't know if I can do this. I don't have a sales background. Everyone's smarter than me. I'm not cute enough. I'm not pretty enough. Whatever the tape is, you're telling yourself that you can't do this or this might be hard. Why would you tell yourself this is going to be hard? That would be like if you're a mom telling your child before they jump in the pool for a swim meet, the water's going to be really cold. Don't get bummed out if you don't win the race. You probably aren't going to win. You wouldn't tell a kid that before they go to a race. You could say, run, swim your best. You got this. Close your eyes, be focused on the wall. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing in their lane. Stay in your lane and just play full out, right? That's what you would tell your kid. Okay, gang, it's the same thing. So what are you telling yourself? So number 3, again, is strategy and action. Number 2 is the story you're telling yourself. And number 1, perfect time for a sneeze, sorry. Number 1 is, oh my gosh, the suspense. Number 1 is your mind, your mindset. Are you saying I'm all in? Like there have been times, probably 5 or 6 times in my Mary Kay career where I set a goal that was so outrageously outside of my comfort zone. Like it's something we'd never done before. On paper, if you were being really super logical, you'd say, there's no way she's going to do that. She's not even on target for that. And because of visualization, I'm not kidding you guys. I know some of you might be rolling your eyes when you hear this and go, Diane, it doesn't work that way, but it does. It truly, truly does. So visualization is really important. So this one particular national was sharing how she did a visualization exercise every day. She took a few minutes daily to envision what her debut was going to be look like. So let's say your dream and your goal is to become a Mary Kay sales director, because I will tell you, once you become a director, you will be so, I can't even, oh my God, if I could, like Cinderella, if I could have you become a director for a day and then at midnight you go back to wherever you are in the career path, like a Cinderella thing, you would run. It isn't just the buzz kit and getting things early. It isn't just the 310% more pay. It is the platform. It's being able to do trainings like this. It's the ability to impact lives. It's the ability to mentor, coach, train, be on a test panel with the company. The company sent me a free roll-up in this long personal note thanking me for my input on onboarding new consultants. I mean, just to be a director. So what this national was sharing was that she visualized every day what her debut was going to be like. This she could close her eyes and see herself in the new suit. Okay, and you guys know that beautiful pink suit with the tweed fabric, which for some reason, because I'm half packed and half moved, I don't know where my tweed sample is, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the new pink suit. She envisioned her debut, who was going to be there. She envisioned the music that was playing. She could see who was walking in the door. She could literally feel the energy in the room, the excitement. She could see the balloons. She envisioned her significant other boyfriend speaking about her and the position that she'd earned as a new director. She envisioned all of that. And she spent 5 minutes every morning and 5 minutes every night. Would you be willing to take 10 minutes out of your day if you knew it was going to have a massive impact on your outcome? Pretty sure you would. I know I would. And so that whole visualization is absolutely key. Plant in your field and God will bless that. Visualization is you do it in the morning, you do it again at night. Now let's talk about what you can control and what you can't control. So one of the things that if your brain is going down that path, and you guys can feel it, you absolutely can feel your energy when you start going down that path of reality or negativity, whichever one you want to pick, where you say, well, my hostess postponed. And then the other lady said that she only wanted to have me come do her and her friends aren't coming over and blah, blah, blah. You can focus on all what's not working. But what would happen if you focus on what is working? So you make a list. What can you control and what you can't control? Well, let's start out with what you can't control. You can't control who says yes. You can't control what they buy or how much they buy. You can't control who calls you back. You can't control who texts you back. You can't control whether they're positive or negative. You can't control any of those things. Would you agree? So let's just make a short list of what you can control. You can control how many phone calls you make. You can control your attitude, your energy. If you don't have good energy and your expectations are not, oh my God, this is going to be my next $1,000 hostess. Like I literally say that out loud. I have my cell phone in my hand. And as I'm dialing her number, I said, this is going to be my next $1,000 hostess. Or if I got good mojo from her, like we hit it off when we met, like this one gal I met at the nail salon, she's 20 years old, super sweet, but there's something about her. As I was dialing her today, I said, this is going to be my next hot team member. And so I literally say that out loud as I'm dialing, because that is the mindset of what I want to manifest and what I want to make happen. Now, for some of you who think that none of this really works, I'm going to tell you, study after study after study has been done, and it does work. If I asked you to envision a person in my next room who is depressed, who is not doing well in life, and I'd ask you, what's their body language? Are they standing up straight and tall, or are they kind of slumped over? You say, well, they're probably slumped over. Is their energy high and great, or is their energy low? Their energy is low. Okay, are they standing with authority, or are they kind of not very engaged? They're not very engaged. So you can literally visualize somebody as soon as they walk in the room. So how are you walking in the room? Are you walking into Costco with your Mary Kay tote bag, wanting to conquer the world? Are you there to say, man, I'm armed with samples. I can't wait. God is going to put in my path the most amazing woman who I'm supposed to meet. And you put your radar out and say, I'm looking for super sharp women. I'm looking for any woman who looks like they put some effort in taking care of themselves. So again, focusing on what you can control whether you have samples, whether you leave your house, whether or not who you talk to. I would almost rather do warm chatter talking than do a booth event. The reason why is that a booth event or a bridal fair or whatever, you don't have control over who comes to the table. You talk to whoever comes to the table. I would really rather be in a crowded event or whatever and hand pick who I want to be a part of, if that sort of makes sense. So again, you guys, it is all about mindset. Now, National Sales Director Kristen Meyer shared a few things, and these are one-liners I want you to write down. She said, be authentically yourself. She goes, when we get comfortable, when we get comfortable, we no longer have that drive. We're like, yeah, but I love doing one party a week. And so it's like, if that's your routine is one party a week, and now you decide you want to do DIQ in 30 days, you're going to have to bump it up. You're going to have to do more than one party in a week. So you have to draw a line in the sand and step over it and step up and say, I no longer am thinking little. This is no different than when you make a decision. I have a girlfriend who lost over 70 pounds 3 times, all to have health, for health issues. She lost the weight and put it back on, lost the weight and put it back on. 2/3 of the country probably does that on a regular basis. The last time, she drew a line in the sand, and I knew she was serious this time. And she was, I'm taking it off and I'm never putting it back on. I need knee surgery. I'm not doing this again. And you could hear the determination in her voice. She made a decision, drew a line in the sand, stepped up. And guess what? She took the 77 pounds off, and she's had it off for 3 years now. Doesn't even need knee surgery anymore. Why? She made a decision. So remember those 3 things Tony Robbins told us? What are you telling the mindset? What are you telling yourself? And action. Her mindset was, this time I'm all in. There is no turning back. I'm losing the weight and I'm keeping it off. Or I'm booking a 10-show week. Okay. So a couple things really quick. Quit saying you are stuck. Don't live in the past. Number 2, shame is a powerful tool used by the enemy to keep you right where you are. I'll say that again. Shame is a powerful tool used by the enemy to keep you right where you are. Number 3, if you're not happy where you are, change it, because you have control over where you are. Number 4, the scoreboard is just a measure of what you're getting now. You know your journey. You can have anything you want in this business. Number 5 was, don't be so self-consumed. Just don't be so self-consumed on how you're doing things. The pain of regret is horrible. I'm unapologetically accepting a massive growth and improvement. So it's just about making that decision. What are you willing to do? And so what I want to ask you guys for May and June, no matter when you're listening to this recording, is I want to ask you, what have you been unwilling to do? And you might say, well, I'm really good at texting. I'm unwilling to make phone calls. Okay, let's talk about that. Is that going to make or break your business? Probably. So what can you do to change that up? What can you do to make that different? I double dog dare you to beat something in May, and then in June, your personal best. Maybe you do more faces in May than you've ever done before. Maybe if you've had a $500 a week or $600, maybe you have a $1,000 a week. Beat whatever it is by a face, by a dollar, whatever. Beat your best in May. It'll build so much momentum and so much confidence in you. When is the last time I believed I have a right to win? I have plenty of time for what God has in mind. So it was really more about, you can make anything happen in this business that you want when you make that decision. Okay. So to get unstuck, you literally have to have that epiphany within yourself to say that, you know what? I'm literally Tuesday drawing the line in the sand. I'm no longer going to do that. Mary Kay used to tell us one of the smartest things we could do was to get a booking a day. She suggested, before we got sidetracked with life, you know how we are with squirrel and we're all over the place with kids and whatever, is that you spend that first hour, whatever time you start your Mary Kay business, you spend that first hour personally booking for you. So let's say you're brand new and you've got nothing on your books. You held a kickoff party, maybe did a facial with a friend, and you've got nothing on your books. So tomorrow morning, you're going to grab your date book. First thing you're going to do is figure out, when could I hold an appointment? When are you available? Could you do something this Friday? Could you do something next Wednesday? Whatever. When are you available is number 1. And then what are you going to offer her? What's in it for her? Right? And then you literally say, you know what? I got this. I can do this. And you draw a line in the sand and you go make it happen. You can do anything you want once you make the decision. Okay. I hope this has been helpful to you guys, because getting unstuck, you can go from stuck to unstuck in a couple of minutes. Do visualization, do energy. If you've ever watched Tony Robbins, I'm a Tony Robbins fan. He does this huge thing with his body, and it's all about energy. And so he'll literally take his arms and throw them way up in the air and do this huge, big, deep breaths in and big, deep breaths out. He gets his blood pumping, and he does that for 60 seconds. Do you know how much that is for 60 seconds? Doesn't sound like much, but to do these, like these really big motions with breathing and activity, it gets your heart pumping. And then you say, you know what? Everyone's going to say yes to me. Will everyone say yes? No. But you know what? When that's your mindset, amazing things will happen. I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Have a great night.